What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Dave here with Dave RC. Toe the Line, episode 19. How's everybody doing? What's going on, guys? All right, so let's get this party started off. I have been working tirelessly. Yes, Dave's on time. Applause. Emojis for Dave. He's on time. um, so what's up, Daniel? How you doing, buddy? So I have been working tirelessly today on this Hanger 9 P51, you guys, and I have to say it's coming along. It's got the brand new tank in it. I know I've been saying for like days, months, a year at least. We need a videotaper. You need me to tape, Briggs? Are you asking if I'll come and tape the games? I would most certainly come and tape the games if you'd like. Hold on, guys, real quick while I'm addressing one of the kids I used to coach. Sunday, where at Sunday? Where at, Briggs? In Scarborough? What time? At 1 o'clock. Okay, I have a flag football game that morning. I should be out with enough time to be able to come down there and do the videotaping for you guys. I was also going to start you guys' own channel, Wyndham Football, just pretty much for you 8th graders, so that I can follow. Because Kyle will be able to. Yeah, I know, right? Let's go. Kyle will be able to come back to play football. I just don't know if it's going to be this year. I'm not sure yet. We don't know. We still have some more testing to do to find out what's going on. But if I get out of my game early enough and I can get home, get showered, and get out there, I most certainly would love to come out there and film for you guys. Now back to the RC stuff. I have been working nonstop on that Hanger 9 P51 from the time I woke up this morning until now. And I finally have it at the point right now where I can just do a couple of little soldering points just to make sure that the pull system doesn't come loose, and then put her back together, put some fuel in it, and get her outside to see if we can get this thing started up. If she doesn't pull fuel now, guys, I don't know. I'm at a loss. If that thing does not start pulling fuel into the carburetor when I spin the prop, I don't know. I'm at a complete loss, you guys. It does, Eric. It really does. It absolutely does. Okay, so the motor that I have inside of the Hanger 9 P51 is an NGH 70cc motor. It's way more powerful than it's supposed to be. I think there's supposed to be a 60cc engine in that. And I got a 70cc engine in that. The thing is the weight difference is not that much. It's only about a 600 gram difference. And with a big model like that, 600 grams is not a lot. Yeah, it's a twin cylinder. Yeah, twin cylinder. I call it the Frankenstein because it's got these protruding like cylinder heads coming off outside of the frame of the plane. It's actually pretty cool looking. It is my first gasser, Kevin. It is my first gas plane that I've ever owned. the stock fuel tank that was in that is, well, it wasn't very good. It wasn't allowing fuel to go from the tank to the carburetor. So I had some big issues with that. Nothing I did was doing anything to get fuel to that motor. You guys may know who he is. He calls himself Thintz, THINTZ, Thintz. He's a pretty big YouTuber, does a lot of gas stuff, and he highly recommended this Valley View fuel tank. So I bought one. I bought the one that I would need for that Hanger 9 P51. It's a slightly bigger gas tank than the one that came with the plane. But it's not that much bigger. It's maybe an ounce, half ounce bigger or something like that. It's not a lot bigger. And it fits like a glove, you guys. It fits. Welcome to the world of gassers. Yeah, I guess. Carb's brand new, Michael. Brand new carb. I actually took the one that it came with off and put a new one on. So it's not the carb. The Pilot Ryan's in the house early tonight, guys. And if that suits well, he's in here for some jokes, you guys. So just be careful what you say, because he will hang you out to dry. I'm just kidding. Yeah, guys. So if she doesn't pull fuel now, I don't know, you guys. I'm at a loss if I can't get any fuel to come into that system. I think we'll be okay now. I honestly believe it was the fuel tank. A lot of the guys at the flying field, some of the guys that have been flying gas for a long time, they're like, Dave, your fuel tank, it's your fuel tank, it's your fuel tank. There's a gross leak somewhere, and it's not allowing fuel to come into the engine. Okay, so that problem's fixed. I pulled that fuel tank out of there and put the new fuel tank in. So it's not going to be the fuel tank. If it's not pulling fuel now, it's definitely not going to be the fuel tank this time around, guys. It's going to be something completely different. But I'm optimistic, you guys. I'm not much of a pessimist. I'm always thinking. I'm always thinking positively. So I honestly believe that with the new fuel tank in it, it's going to work. We'll see. I'll have it back together by the end of the night, and I'll have it out on the front yard tomorrow. And I don't necessarily want to start it, but I want to see that fuel's going to the carburetor. If fuel's going to the carburetor, now I know I can take the plane. I can put the permanent throttle. So on a gas plane, guys, it's not like there's no ESC. You have to literally move the throttle with a servo, and the throttle, it's not a cable. It's more like a push rod. Like it's more like a control arm, like you would find on a servo for your aileron or your elevator. And that arm is connected to the throttle on the carburetor. And that goes back to your servo, your throttle servo. All of that is set up correctly. If I get the thing running tomorrow, or if I even get it where it's going to putt with it choked, I'll have the plane choked. And if I get it to pull fuel and at least try to start, I'll put the control arm on. I'll put it in the truck. I'll go to the AMA club, and I'll have Eddie at the AMA club fire the thing up for the first time and tune it up. The engine hasn't been broken in yet. I've got really good fuel for it, like really, really good fuel for it. And I've got a nice synthetic lubricating oil that goes into the gasoline. It goes right in the gas directly. I bought AMSOIL, which is like some of the best stuff that you can buy. I'm super stoked about it, you guys. This is the one plane that it's like my It's like my nemesis, you guys. I spent all winter long putting this plane together a couple winters ago. Literally all winter long. I actually have a detailed video log on my YouTube channel from start to finish, from the unbox video all the way till the time that I got it to the point where it is now. Installing the retracts, which is a feat in itself. That wasn't an easy deal, guys. Those retracts were kind of a pain in the ass to install. It wasn't just a simple here, put them in, and that's that. The gear door sequencers. That is by far the hardest thing that you will do on that plane is installing the gear door sequencers and making sure that the gear doors are closing evenly. Are not the gear door sequencers, but the gear doors and the servos for the gear doors themselves. That is by far the hardest thing that you will do on that plane. The pull system is pretty self-explanatory. It's pretty straightforward. Not uncommon from all of the 3D planes that are out there. It's just a pull system. It's one pulley that operates the steerable gear in the back, the steerable tail wheel, and the rudder. Pretty simple, straightforward stuff there. I've got a lot of money into this plane, you guys. I mean, if I had to sit here and hash out numbers, it's pretty expensive, you guys. I've got not only the money that I put into that freaking plane, but the time. The time is what you don't get back. And I have probably, oh my God, well over 100 man hours. Oh yeah, much more than that, Eric. The airframe alone was $1,000, you guys. You got the airframe. Okay, so let's do a parts and price list right quick. You have the airframe, $1,000, like 890 something like that. So $100 off of 1,000. The engine was like $400 or $500, not cheap. The retracts were $600. That's from Horizon too. Those retracts are ridiculously expensive, guys. They're the electric retracts that actually go to that plane. The sequencer and all that stuff, it actually all goes to that plane. About $600 there. And then all the miscellaneous stuff like servos, the cables for the pull system that they included in the kit were absolute garbage. So I ended up just buying some new ones. My wife stopped at the hobby store on the way home from work, and she ended up picking me up a nice long spool of pull cable, which is really nice. And it's got really nice clamps and really nice feature. Like, it's better than the stuff. It's actually got this like poly coat on it too. It's like got this like plastic coat, or like a rubberish plastic coat on the wire itself. Kind of like an extra protection layer. So well over $2,000, you guys, into this plane. Not to mention the prop, the spinner and the back plate, you guys. I had to order that specially from China, because they wanted like $200 for the one on their website. The aluminum spinner that goes on it. I found a carbon fiber one, spinner and back plate, for like $70 or $80 plus shipping. It was like $90 or something like that. I couldn't beat it. It was a 5.5-inch spinner and back plate that I needed for that plane, and I got it at a fairly decent price, without having to pay that much. I did skimp out on the wheels. I ended up getting a pair of Dubro wheels, which Dubro wheels are all right. They're not bad, but they're not the ones that actually go to that plane. The ones that go to that plane, those are $100 a piece they want for those wheels, you guys. They're the aluminum CNC ones, with the nice like rubber tires. I don't think they're inflatable tires. I think they're like pre-inflated, but they're solid tires. But yeah, $100 a piece for those tires and rims, guys. So I ended up buying the Dubro ones. I had to drill them out to get them to fit on the posts. I went over to my buddy's house and used his drill press, so that I knew I was getting it even, down the middle, right straight down. If you don't get those centered properly, same thing with the prop. I had to drill that prop out too, guys. That wasn't an easy thing to do either. I had to use the drill press for that as well. If any of those things is not done perfectly, if it's not done exactly right, it's going to throw the balance off and the whole thing's going to rattle and shake like a son of a bitch. So I'm hoping that once she fires up and she starts, all of that stuff is working properly. I'm not going to hold my breath. Unfortunately, I would probably be purple by the time everything gets settled in and gets, properly done right. But I'm at a crossroads with that plane. Here we meet. We're going to intersect here one more time. If I can't get fuel to go to that motor this time, you guys, I don't know what I'm going to do. Just rip the entire freaking motor completely off of it and buy the motor that actually goes to the plane. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not at that point yet. I'm really, really being optimistic when I say that I think that when I go to start at this time, we're going to pull some fuel into that motor. I've watched a ton of videos. A lot of people are saying the same thing that I was thinking, and that the people at the flying field were saying. Don't use the stock tank that comes with the kit. Just, throw that thing out and get your own tank. I should have listened to that in the beginning, and I didn't. And here I am. I'm suffering the consequences now. So, yeah, venting a little bit. Yeah, just a little bit. Oh, Roy, no bullshit, man. That would be a horrible sin. If I get the thing started and I fly it and it crashes, I'll be happier than it just sitting here in the corner of my room collecting dust. At least it flew. It was in the air for a little while. I would hate to see it crash. It's a lot of time. A lot of time. That's the thing that I can't get back. I can't get the time back, you guys. That was a long time. It took me an entire winter of sitting in my apartment, putting this thing together, doing things over again and over again because I didn't know how to do them. There's no video. There's not very many videos out. That's why I put a detailed video out while I was putting that plane together, because there wasn't one. And I was like, I'm going to put a video up, step by step. I'll do it all. Yeah, I know. Smack it up, flip it, and sell it. That's right, baby. To get off subject a little bit, man. I sent Ryan a text message last week. I remember he had this 90 millimeter FMS Super Scorpion. And I was like, man, I wonder if he still has that thing. So I offered him, I said, Ryan, I'll trade you my F-15 for your Super Scorpion straight up. And he's like, no, man, I already traded that away, man. I was like, oh, shit, man. That would have been a good one. That would have been a good trade. That would have been a great trade, actually. I know Ryan's looking for an F-15. This one's in like brand new condition. It's only been flown once. And that FMS Super Scorpion that he had was in excellent condition as well. So that would have been a really good trade. Yeah, I know, man. I was like, I want to buy this Havoc, right? I want to buy the Havoc. I really do. But I have been eyeballing that Super Scorpion for the longest time. I have the Freewing Super Scorpion. And not that it's not a good plane. It's a great plane. Dave, is that F-14 in back of you? Yes, it is. It is a Freewing F-14. It's flown one time, you guys. One time I flew it, and Tyler was in the back of the truck sleeping. My cameraman was in the back of the truck sleeping. The one time that I actually had the balls to go out and fly this thing. And where's Tyler at? Oh, Tyler's sleeping in the back of the Jeep. That's nice. I was like, is anybody filming? And they're like, no, nobody's filming. I was like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. Are you serious right now? I finally had the cojones to get that thing, take it and fly it. And I'm a much better pilot now than I was back when I flew that thing for the first time. So I'm actually anxious to go back out and fly it again. The reason I haven't flown it is because my two 6S batteries that I originally bought for that thing, they're beat. They're toast. they still charge up, but they don't put out any power, barely any power at all, man. One of them is actually really good and the other one sucks. So there's like, you can't fly a twin engine plane with one engine doing half the work and the other one at full power. On his way, we got work to do. What's going on, Ryan? You got work to do. What are you guys doing? Bigger, better. Bigger is truly better in the case of the Scorpion. I believe that. I actually believe that. On his way, you got work to do. So yeah, I got 2 brand new batteries coming for the F-14. 2 brand new batteries, big 6,000s or whatever they are. I got a 2-pack deal. They're like, I think they're not really like top-notch batteries. I think they're called like Jins Ace or something like that. I got a really good deal on them. I got 2 for like $170, and that's the price I paid for one of those Pulse batteries. So, as soon as we get those batteries in, guys, which it should be here with the Hobby Zone stuff, or not the Hobby Zone stuff, but the Hobby King stuff. Once the Hobby King stuff comes here, I should have the batteries, the motor for the MiG 17. I was gonna have the MiG 17 in here on the table, but you guys saw it. If you watched any of my videos today, you guys saw it was out in the living room. It's done. I have all the servos put in it. All the free wing Metal Gear servos are all put in it now, and the ESC's put in. Now all we have to do is BLX mat. Now all we have to do is put the EDF in it. If this EDF for whatever reason does not mount up, or it's going to give me a pain in the ass, or whatever the deal may be, if it's going to be a bitch, I'm just going to go outside. I'm going to grab the Stinger 90. I'm going to pull the JP fan out of it, and I'm going to stick it inside of the MiG 17, at least until we get a maiden flight on it, at least. I'm not going to fart around. If I can't get things to line up and match up right, I'm just going to go take that JP fan out of the Stinger 90 for, just for the day, and stick it inside of that MiG 17, and we're going to go have some fun with it. BLX Matt, your shit is on the way. Paul Hatcher stuff is on the way. Eric Quinn, your package is on the way. The only one that I did not send out was Love RCs, the 262, and that's just because it's not fitting in the freaking box. It pissed me off, man. That whole time I'm like, oh, it's gonna fit in this box, and then finally the time comes where I have to put it in the box. Not going. It's too long. The wing span is too long. It's like 6 inches too long. So I'm gonna have to build on to the end of the box, and then I'll be able to send that out. Still waiting for the Beast. The Beast is sitting right here next to me, you guys. You can see a part of the wing right here. It's actually just a matter of getting all the other shit out of my truck. I want to get the MiG 17 video done first. That's what I want to do. I actually have to take everything out of the truck just to fit this Beast biplane in the back of my truck. Nothing else can be in there. It's the only plane that can be in the back of the truck at the time. Jesse Anderson, what's up, Dave? What's up, Jesse? How's it going, man? Hangar 51. I have 2 new birds on the bench too, Ryan. Hey, you guys, new subscriber today, Hangar 51. I've been watching his channel for quite some time now. He's got an awesome channel. I think he's right around 800 subscribers, you guys. If you don't know who Hangar 51 is, you guys, awesome dude, guys. Awesome dude. Like I said, I've been watching his channel for a while. You guys should get over there, check out his channel. If you like what you see, you know what to do, man. You know what to do. Give him some love, you guys. He's pushing to that 1,000 subscriber mark, and when you get that close, man, it's time to haul. So go over there and give that guy some love. I know I've got like 18 of you guys in here. If you guys have not subbed to his channel yet, bro, check him out. He is the real deal. He is a super smart guy. What happened to Smart Dave? Yeah, Smart Dave's gone. He's on vacation. No problem, Hangar 51. I appreciate you subbing to my channel today too, man. It's always cool, you know. You see all these subscribers come through. Yeah, no glasses. They're in my bedroom. No subs. You see all these subscribers come through, and then one day you look and you see, oh shit, RC Informer just subscribed to my channel. Pilot Ryan and Captain Mike just subscribed to my channel. Now Hangar 51 just subscribed to my channel. You know, it's pretty surreal seeing these guys that you've watched for so long, and then you look to see who subscribed to your channel lately, and it's someone like Hangar 51 or Pilot Ryan or RC Informer or Gooniac, or you know, just super super cool to actually see that, man. And yeah, Hangar 51, man, I totally appreciate the sub. Welcome to Dave's RC, man. We have a lot of fun over here, man. We do a lot of giveaways. I see some of the planes that you fly. We give a lot of those types of planes away here on the channel. Did you sign the pits, Dave? Oh, Eric, bro. No, man. I'm sorry, bro. No, and no shirt in there either, because I've only got these 3 back here, and those are the ones that stay on the wall. The new shirt order will be in. Like I was telling everybody at the end of the video, just be patient with me on the shirts. The new shirt order will be in probably this week. And then I'll start ripping through and getting all the people who are getting shirts. I'll start going through you guys and giving your shirts out. Right now, what I wanted to focus on was just getting all the big packages sent off, like your plane, the ESCs, the 262. And now I'm all caught up. You guys, I am all caught up. All I have to do now is on the 1st of next month, purchase a Marlin and send it off to Kevin Farrows. But I don't even have to touch that plane. I am actually just ordering that straight from Hobby Zone and sending it straight to Kevin Farrow's front door. I think I'm going to do a lot more of that from now on, just because the shipping costs are really kicking me in the pants, you guys. I don't mind buying it. I don't mind giving it away. But the shipping costs, man, they're just atrocious sometimes. I mean, I think this last time I just went to the post office was with the 2 ESCs for Paul Hatcher and BLX Matt, and the Pitts biplane for Eric Quinn. It only cost me $25, you guys. I was out of that post office only with $25 spent. I usually spend well over $100 when I go in there to send stuff out, guys. It's ridiculous. Shipping costs are freaking monumental, massive, ridiculous. I don't understand why it costs so much to send a package. And you know what, guys? If you have a square package, it's going to cost you more money than it would to send out a rectangle package. So remember that. If you go to send out a package, make sure it's rectangle. For whatever screwed up, here comes Smart Dave. For whatever reason they do that, I have no idea, but they will charge you more for a perfectly squared off package than they will for a rectangle package. So I don't care if you have a perfectly square object to send, put it in a rectangle box. You'll save yourself about $20. Ryan loses $25 in the car seats each day. Was what the frick? See, I told you he's watching us, Ryan. He's watching us. It's starting to get weird, bro. I don't know, man. It's starting to get weird. Love RC. So I'm sure you've probably been in here long enough to hear that we're having an issue with sending your package, Love RC. Yours is the only one I have left to send now. It didn't fit in the freaking box, man. I was so pissed off, man. I was like, you gotta be kidding me, man. I cannot believe this this thing ain't fitting in this box. I'm on the East Coast, Dave. Less money. Yeah, it was, Eric. No kidding, dude. You were the cheapest package that I've had to send off in a long time. I knew I was going to take a big hit when I sent off Eric or Love RC's package. So I was really hoping and praying that your package was going to take it easy on me. And it did. It did. Like I said, I got both of those ESCs and your package sent off for like $25, like 24 and some change. So not bad. And Love RC, I actually have to modify that big ass MiG-17 box just to be able to fit the wing portion of the Dynam 262 inside of the box. What did you say? P47? P47, Dave? Sorry about that. What? Oh, dude. Don't worry about it, Roy. It's all good, man. I wasn't too bent about I wasn't bent about that. That didn't bother me at all. Just the fact that the plane was going somewhere where it was going to get flown more than it was here, that was satisfying enough for me. What do we got going on? Captain Photon, drone pilot with eyes on you. I know. I can hear the drone buzzing in the window behind me. Curtains are shut though, Captain Photon. Not unless you got some type of like, I don't know, night vision, heat goggle thing, heat vision, whatever he's got on his drone out there. Oh my god, man. Captain Photon is a trip, you guys. If you guys haven't heard of Captain Photon, well, stick around here for a little while, and you'll know exactly who Captain Photon is. He'll be in the Pilot's Lounge tomorrow as well, and he'll probably drop in on the Mary Boozer's channel just to give Wesley some shit. But yeah, if you don't know who Captain Photon is, and you're in here right now, you will know. You will know. You will know. He will not rest until you know. So go over to his channel and check it out. And if you like what you see, man, you know what to do. If he sees you wandering around the chats and inside of these live streams for a while, and you don't sub to his channel, he will stalk you. So just go sub to his channel. I'm just gonna say it. Just go subscribe. Save yourself the pain. Just go do it. Do it. Just go do it, man. Just go do it. Save yourself the hassle. Have you flown gas planes? No. As a matter of fact, I don't know what the hell possessed me to buy that Hangar 9 P51 in the first place. I saw the plane. It was like fully assembled in the picture, and I'm like, hey, that's a nice looking plane. I want it. I bought it. When I got it, I realized there was absolute dog shit in it. And I had to buy all the electronics, buy the engine, the fuel system. It did come with a fuel tank. However, that fuel tank was absolute garbage. That's why I'm replacing it in the first place. No, I have not. I have not flown a gas plane before. And for not have ever building one before, I actually did a pretty good job, man. I had the guys at the RC field look at it, and they're like, "You've never built a gas plane before?" And I was like, "No, I've never put one of these kits together ever." They were like actually quite surprised how well I did putting it together and how well I got the retracts in there and how they were straight and they weren't pigeoned. You know what I mean? They weren't crabbed at all. They were nice and straight and flush with the rest of the plane and the body and the flow of the plane. They were pretty impressed. They couldn't understand why it wasn't getting fuel. And Eddie, he's been doing this for so long. He's our flight instructor up there. And he's like, "Dave, I think it's your fuel tank, man. It's got to be the fuel tank." I mean, he says, "I've seen this problem before, and it's because there's like some type of a gross leak somewhere in the fuel system." He said, "Change out your fuel tank to a better fuel tank, a high quality fuel tank." And he said, "I bet you your problem goes away." So that's what I did, man. That's what I did. Yeah. So and that's the other thing too, guys. I see these gas pilots, these guys with gas planes, and they're over there fidgeting with that damn plane more than they are flying it. And I didn't want to find myself in that situation. That's why I like electric planes, guys. That's why I'm a huge advocate of electric planes. I'm a huge advocate of electric prop, electric ducted fan, anything electric. I'm a major advocate for. Does that mean I'm against anything that has to do with gas? No, I bought a gas plane so that I could experience it, so that I could experience building one. I could experience, flying one, and hopefully I don't have to ever experience crashing one. I shit you not, guys. If I had to come home and tell my wife I put that freaking plane into the ground, I'd be sleeping on the couch for a while. So As a matter of fact, every time I take it out and mess around with it, she's like, "What are you doing with that?" Just fixing it. You haven't even flown it yet. What's wrong with it? Nothing's wrong with it. I'm just taking something that's not good quality out and putting something that's better quality in. You're not going to go fly it, are you? No, I'm not going to fly it. Okay. Yeah, she knows what I have invested into that plane and the time. And she saw me scraping my knuckles, cutting my fingers. I got a piece of freaking metal stuck in my freaking eyeball during that build. I had to go to the emergency room and have a shard of metal pulled out of my freaking eyeball. Yeah, man, that was a pretty rugged build. I injured myself twice. I sliced my finger wide open, and I had a giant piece of metal stuck in my freaking eyeball I had to have removed. So, yeah, not fun. Yeah, and she saw me go through all of that for this freaking plane. The last thing she wants to see is it ending up as a lawn dart. Um, it's the last thing I want to see as well, man. I definitely don't. Yeah, you know what, Captain Photon. You know what, Ricky. I'm honestly wondering how I'm gonna handle it because I can't even go outside and mow the lawn for more than 10 minutes at a time because of the damn noise. Trick Mustang, what's up? Welcome to the stream. The dangers of a gasser. Yeah, F it, fly it into the ground. Back. We'll fly it somewhere. It's either going to fly off or fly into the ground, or we're going to fly it and it's going to land and we're going to be all right. We'll see what happens. Flew the RQ-7B Shadow. Cool. Flew the RQ-7B Shadow. What is the RQ-7B Shadow? Show it. Who's bought? Yeah, Ryan. You know what, bro? You should take a little trip up here to Maine and maiden it for me. Let you put the first flight on it. Let you put the first flight on it, homie. It's a drone. Oh, okay. I don't do the drones, man. Not that I don't like drones. I appreciate the concept. I appreciate what drones can do and what they do. I'm actually looking into getting Kyle a better drone so that we can get some better footage and he can actually chase me around. There's no way in hell that little slow ass drone that I bought him is going to be able to chase around some of these jets I have. It's not fast enough. It's just not fast enough. He'll be playing catch up most of the time. So, it was the drone I flew in the. Oh, okay. I got you, Eric. I know exactly what you're talking about now. Now, I don't know numbers. I just know what I saw above us while we were out there, and I know what you're talking about now. I know exactly what you're talking about. I just didn't know that that's what it was called. Is Ryan being mean, Captain Photon? You never know what Ryan you're going to get, man. You just never know. So, I mean, you got to take the good with the bad, man. That's all there is to it. Suck it up, Buttercup. You got to, that's, it is what it is. If you catch him on a bad day, oh well. That makes up for all those good days you caught him on. So deal with it. I saw Ryan crash a jet too. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I don't see Ryan crash shit much. So watching him crash that plane was very humbling for me. It made me feel human. It made me feel human. Yeah. And it made him look human at the same time. So epic crash. That shit was so that shit was so cool. I've never seen anything like it in my life. As a matter of fact, Mike was anticipating the follow through on the other side, and he just kept going with the camera, but the plane was back here in pieces already. And he has to pan back to go to the. It's like, oh shit, no way, what happened? Electronics. It was the electronics. It was the electronics. Get your shit straight, Horizon. No, I'm just kidding. He almost pulled that shit off, bro. He almost pulled that move off. And instead of pushing up on the stick, he pulled back on the stick. And in she went. At least that's what it looks like happened. That's what it looked like happened. He was doing his rollout, coming under as he was rolling out, and just a slight disorientation. He wanted to push up on the stick because he was inverted, and he ended up pulling down on the stick, and it put him into the ground. That's kind of what it looked like to me anyway. But very humbling indeed. It made me want to go out and fly something, like, and just fly the piss out of it and crash it. Not on purpose, but fly it so damn hard that if it crashed, oh well. Try different things, try new things. Hey, how about turning to the right, Dave? Let's try turning to the right then. Just little things like that, little things that when I'm flying a plane, I'm just like, I'm in a pattern. From the moment I take off till the moment I land, I'm in a pattern that I fly constantly. It's the same pattern I fly with every plane that I own. Every Maiden will pretty much look the same. And I want to change that up. I want shit to start looking a little different. I want to start okay, so if you watch RC Informer do a flight video, a Maiden on a brand new plane, he has a routine. He goes out, he takes off, he gets into his pattern, he does some figure eights, then he goes up, then he rolls over, split S this way, split S, Cuban 8 this way, Cuban 8 that way. Then he does the circles out in front of him. Then he does his fast passes. Then he goes for his inverted fast passes. He has a routine. And that's what I want. I want a routine. I know he probably has a lot of time on the simulator as well. I don't have a simulator, you guys. I've never flown. I have flown a simulator, but it's like at the hobby store. I don't own a simulator. I legit learned how to fly the old-fashioned way, bro. You put the damn plane in the air, you fly it. If you crash, you crash. Oh well, you learn from your mistake. I went through a hell of a lot of planes and a lot of repairs learning that way. I had a person tell me, he says, Dave, the simulator is not going to, it's not going to put into the effect of like the wind and crosswinds and stuff like that. It kind of mimics them a little bit, but it's not the same. He says, you want to learn how to fly? Go fly. Go get yourself a high wing trainer and go fly. I said, well, what if I don't want to fly a prop plane? He says, well, you're crazy, but still the same thing. Go get yourself a little small EDF jet then and toss that thing around until you got it figured out. And that's what I did. I never flew a simulator, never flew a jet on a simulator. I just learned by throwing the plane in the air, learning the movements, flying it around, crashing it a bunch of times. I can't tell you how many times I crashed. Need to break out of the left turns. Yeah, I know, Chris. That's what I was just saying. I have some. I wouldn't say that they're bad habits. It's not necessarily a bad thing to never turn right. You just don't put yourself in a situation where you have to turn right. Now, can I turn right? Yeah, I can turn right. I've done it several times. I've done it in a lot of my videos. A couple Panther flights where I was just constantly turning right. I just feel a lot more comfortable turning to the left for some reason. I think everybody has their side. Everybody that flies, they have the one side that they like to turn to the most. When I watch Roy likes to turn to the right. He loves turning to the right. He's not a left-hand turning guy. He likes to turn to the right for some reason. When I fly, I like to turn to the left. I like left-handed circuits for some reason. It's just a preference thing. Everybody has their way of flying that makes them feel comfortable. So if it's me turning to the left all the time or it's Roy turning to the right all the time, it's what it is. Love RC. Yeah, that's the way it is at our flying field too. But when I'm out at my field, I set the pattern. I don't have even if the wind direction is coming this way, I can still make my pattern left. It's just that when I go to land, I have to land into the wind, and I'll just have to I'll have to turn down here a lot sooner and then come into land from a different angle. Not to mention, there's only like really one way you can land there. Now that the house has been built across the street, I have certain rules that I have to abide by. And one of the biggest rules is I cannot have my plane, I cannot land or take off in the direction of the house. Period. That is like number one biggest rule. You can now not take off towards the house or land towards the house. And that's something that I was able to do before that house was there. That house just got built there last winter, or last fall. And now that house is there, it prohibits me from doing things that I was able to do before that now I can't do. Like I used to be able to take off from the pavement. I cannot go near that pavement now. I cannot even, I mean, I can kind of taxi around the pavement and kind of, test out, my ground handling on the pavement. But as far as taking off from the pavement, I can't do that anymore. And that sucks because that was a really nice place to take off. Not the best to land on because sometimes you come in for a landing and you'd hit those those barriers that are there. And I tell you what, man, you hit those barriers and it's going to screw up your plane badly. It is going to mess your plane up big time. Yeah, that's not a good deal. You don't want to touch those barriers when you're coming into land. RC flying field, Dave. RC flying field. What are you talking about? What are you talking about, Roy? No, Roy, I'm not saying Roy go turn left. I'm just saying that's your preference is to turn right. It's a comfortability thing. If you're making a right-hand turn and you're like, "Fuck, man, I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel comfortable right now." That's not gonna bode well for your plane. I mean, I'm turning to the right. I'm turning to the right, and then you go. Muscle memory kicks in, and when you come out of your turn to level off, when you're taking a left-hand turn, you go right to level off, and then muscle memory kicks in after your right-hand turn, and you hit right, and it brings you more right. You over rotate. That's exactly what happened to the Sky Sword. I over rotated because I just wasn't thinking clearly. It was a new plane up in the sky. I was nervous. I was flying at the AMA Club, which already makes me extra nervous as it is because there's a certain way you have to fly there. And it's not the way I fly typically. I like to fly around myself, not in front of myself. Just first thing that you guys have to understand is that I taught myself how to fly. It's not like I had somebody there instructing me on what is the right way to fly. I threw the plane in the air and I flew the plane whichever way it made me feel comfortable. So I wasn't taught the ethics of keep the plane in front of you. Do figure eights, make right-hand turns, things of that nature. Nobody was there to correct me. So, I mean, honestly, you could say that teaching myself how to fly, I hurt myself at the same time. I hurt myself because I taught myself how to fly. But at the same time, go find somebody else online that just picks up a freaking RC jet one day and says, I'm going to go fly this thing. And within 30 flights, he's got it down to the point where he can fly the plane and land it without crashing it. I'd say that's pretty impressive. I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I was fairly shocked when the first flight that I flew where I didn't crash, I got the plane up and I landed it, was with a little Banana Hobby Sky Angel MiG, 50 millimeter MiG, little 50 millimeter fan in that thing, little tiny thing. 3S battery, thing absolutely ripped, so fast, probably like 50, 60 miles an hour in just this little compact small plane, even smaller than the 64 millimeter planes. I mean, this is a tiny little plane. And I remember the first flight where I flew it and landed it and it didn't crash, how gratifying that felt to know that without a simulator, without anybody standing over my shoulder and teaching me, without any of that, I taught myself how to fly. That's pretty impressive, you guys. That's pretty impressive, to say the least. But like I said, at the same time, I taught myself some bad habits. Are they bad habits that are going to get me in trouble as far as flying? No. Just bad habits in the sense that, say I have to make a right-hand turn. If I'm forced to make a right-hand turn, I will turn right. No doubt about it. I mean, I turn right all the time in my videos. I just don't make full, complete 100 or 360 degree turns to the right. Like, I'm constantly doing 360 degree turns to the left. I just typically don't do them to the right. I'll do like a half turn to the right just to get myself back out so that I can make a nice wide left turn. But one thing I want you guys to understand is the reason I fly the way I do, the reason you guys see me flying the same way over and over again, it's just a comfortability thing, you guys. It's the way I fly to ensure myself that I'm going to be comfortable and I'm going to be alert enough. If I'm keeping myself in that pattern where I'm turning to the left and I'm bringing the plane down in front of me and then going back out to the left, making my loop and then coming down back in front of me, it's just a comfortability thing. That's all it is, guys. And as you guys know, if you're not comfortable when you put a plane up in the air, it's not going to be a good time for you. You're not going to have fun. If you're not comfortable while you're flying that plane, you're looking for any reason and every reason to land the thing before it's even time to land. And that's not the way I want to feel when I put the plane up. When I put the plane up, I want to be like, okay, I want to see what it does. I want to see how it rolls. I want to see how it does in a loop. I want to see certain things. I want to see it slow flight. I want to see, and if there's something bothering you to the point where you forget all of that and you're not doing that and you're focusing on, am I going to crash? Am I going to crash? Oh, am I doing this right? Is someone watching me? Is someone judging me? It's not going to bode well for your plane. So, that's why I always say, man, fly free or die. You get up, you get your plane, you put it in the air, you fly that son of a bitch the way that it makes you feel comfortable. Don't let anybody else fly your plane for you. As a matter of fact, if someone starts yapping while you're flying your plane, tell them to shut the fuck up. I mean, it's not their plane in the sky right now. That's not their plane up there. That's your plane, your investment. The last thing that you want is some bozo behind you yapping in your ear telling you what to do. Not that that's ever really happened to me. No, it hasn't. Now, Eddie, you will hear Eddie in my videos telling me, don't forget your gear, 1 minute, 2 minutes. That's welcome. That is welcome advice that Eddie's giving me. You have to understand, Eddie's the flying instructor there. It's his job to make sure that you're doing the right thing at the flying field. So if you ever hear Eddie in the background saying, Dave, gear, or Dave, flaps, or that's welcome. That's not unwelcome shouting behind me. That's actually welcome. And I don't mind when he does that because he also keeps time for me too. Like, on some of my models, I forgot to program like the timer in. So like on the MiG Maiden, when I was maidening the MiG 17, he was calling out the minutes. You're at 1 minute. You're at 2 minutes. Make sure you got your flaps up. Your gear are down. I even though I let him know beforehand that the gear were going to stay down for that flight, he's just noticing things with the plane that maybe I didn't notice. With the gear, he was just like, okay, yeah. So, oh yeah, now I remember the gear. He said he was going to keep it down, but anytime you hear Eddie yelling from behind me, that's welcome information coming in. I never mind when it's Eddie behind me yelling. because I know he's not going to be shooting me some bullshit. He's going to be telling me, do this. This is what you should be doing. This is what you should be doing. Oh, check that. Make sure that's done. Make sure that's done. Because like I said, I'm not flying at my field when I'm up there. That's not that. I don't consider that my field. My field where I fly is my field where I fly, which is most of my flights are done at my field. So when I'm flying there, I already have that slight uncomfortability. That's step one of the uncomfortability is being in an unfamiliar place while you're flying. Now, the more and more I go up there, the more familiar the place becomes to me, the more easy it becomes for me to fly there. But under no circumstances would I ever get mad at Eddie or Eric, for that matter, behind me yelling because I haven't done something correctly or something they see something that I haven't seen yet, because my comfortability is not there because of the situation where I'm flying is taking effect. And I might be flying around and be like, hey, Dave, your flaps are still down. Oh, shit. Okay. Well, that's something that I wouldn't have forgotten at my field, but I'm forgetting it here because my comfortability level is low. If you're bottom line is if you're not comfortable when you hit that throttle and take off, that's not very good, man. That's not a good way to start. That's not a very good way to start. If you're like, oh wow, it's really, really windy, I'm gonna feel nervous if I start flying in the wind. That's not a good way to start. Lately, when it's been windy, when I start to fly, I check the wind direction and I say, well, is it gusting or is it a steady breeze? If it's gusting, I worry a little bit because I don't like wind gusts. I don't like an unknown, unseen ball of energy hitting my plane out in the distance and then watching it freak out. I hate that. If it's a steady, sustained wind, that my comfortability goes up. Okay, it's a sustained wind coming out of the east. Perfect. Now I know we got a wind coming out of the east at all times. It's not gusting. It's a sustained wind that's constantly coming out of the east. Comfortability goes up. I do not like flying when the wind stops and then it gusts and then it stops and then it gusts. I just don't, I can't stand that. So yeah, my comfortability level has to be at a certain point before I even hit that throttle to take off. And if it's not there, I'll pack the car up and I'll leave. I won't even do a video that day. It's not worth it. It's not worth it for me to take off and not feel comfortable. Dude. Oh shit. Maybe I should try the Roy treatment. I should try the Roy method. Take a couple of hits off the bong and then go fly. Go spreads before booze. Good night. Captain Photon, I'll see you later. Literally. Literally. Yeah, it's about that time for me too, guys. We're about an hour into it. Talk about relax. Yeah. Yeah, Roy's got that good stuff out there on the West Coast too. He's got that chronic stuff out there that the homeboys have down in California. Right, only when you're feeling it. Don't try if you ain't. Yeah, if you're, yeah, dude, so true, Deuce. If you're not in the right frame of mind and you're not feeling it, don't fly. Don't fly. For God's sakes, don't fly. The worst thing you can do is take off if you're not feeling it. You'll know when you're feeling it because you'll plug that battery in. You'll fire that transmitter up. You'll plug that battery in. You'll ground test it real quick, and you'll be like, let's go, Kyle. Camera on. Boom. That's when he knows I mean business. When I start ripping stuff out of the car and I start plugging stuff in immediately right off the grip, he's like, all right, here we go. Dad's going to fly. If I get out and I start walking around, I start throwing grass in the air and I'm smoking a cigarette and I'm just, he already knows we're going to be here for a while. And I've been doing that less and less lately, less and less. I don't know what it is, but I've been feeling more comfortable flying lately. Like every day I go out and fly, I'm getting more comfortable and more comfortable. And the paranoia goes away. Wreckham Roy's, that paranoid feeling goes away. And you don't care whether you crash or what. You don't care about that. The only thing you care about is making sure that all your ground tests are right before you take off. And if that's the way you're thinking, then that's a good time to fly. That's a good time to fly. You're checking your surfaces, you're checking your throws, you're checking your rates, and then boom, boom, boom. And then you look at your cameraman and he gives you the thumbs up. And then he 1, 2, 3. As soon as that thumb goes up, I know I'm ready to go. And boom, I punch it. And I have been feeling a lot more comfortable lately flying these planes than I ever have in the past. I think it honestly took crashing that Sky Sword for it to just me to be done with that. I will get redemption on that Sky Sword one of these days, but it's not going to be that 70 millimeter one. I'm going to go for the big 90 mil. And I think I'm going to buy it as an ARF and put my own stuff in it, like I have been. Probably put an 8S system in that as well. I don't know what it is with me and this 8S system kick lately, but the MiG, to be honest with you, the Stinger 90, that plane does just fine on 6S. I just figured if I'm going to go the distance of putting 8S in something, I want it to be a nice sporty airframe, something that can handle it, something that can handle the speed. And the Stinger 90 just across the board was like a perfect plane for the 8S system. Unfortunately, the MiG-17 is different. I feel as though it needs it. Now, maybe that's not with, like I said, that's probably not with everyone. Not everyone's MiG-17 has a power issue like mine. Mine is severely lacking in power. And before I cut those leads, it was severely draining my power of my batteries very quickly, faster than anything else I've ever flown. Like crazy ridiculous, like 2 minutes of flight and I'm already at like 13% or 14% on the battery. That's ridiculous. That is unheard of. Shortening the leads and managing the throttle a bit better. I ended up solving my problem, I guess you could say. I'm not going to take 100% credit and say by shortening those leads is what gave me the 50% extra life. No, I was also managing my throttle a little bit better during that flight as well. And it wasn't quite as long of a flight as it was the first time around either. But still, I managed to get down on the ground with 50% less, or with 50% battery life rather than 7% battery life. So that's a crazy difference. I think it was a little bit throttle management, a little bit cutting those leads back. I think it was a little bit of everything, and all wrapped up in one. But yeah, guys, before I get out of here, my normal Friday night spiel. I don't know if Captain Pilot Ryan's still in here, but you guys, tomorrow night we got the Pilot's Lounge with all of us hanger rats hooking up and hanging out. 9 p.m. Eastern time, guys. Don't miss that. 8 p.m. Eastern time Sunday. Got the Merry Boozers live stream. I have no idea what they're going to be doing. Love RC, bro. Please be patient with me with that damn plane, man. It's the last thing that I have to send out. And I just have to make it. I'm not going to feel comfortable sending that plane out in a condition in which it may get to you in worse condition than what it's in. I want to make sure that everything's. I appreciate that, Love RC. So yeah, guys, tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern time, Pilot Ryan, Captain Mike's RC YouTube channel, the Pilot's Lounge, from his new and improved studio. And then we have the Merry Boozers, 8 p.m. Eastern time on Sunday. You guys don't miss it. Be there, be square. What about you guys? Any gripes, bitches, or complaints before we get out of here? Hanger 51 says he'll be doing some live streams soon. Hey, Hanger 51, dude, live streams are the new thing, man. They're like the new day thing, the new age thing. If you're not live streaming, you're not YouTubing. That's what I'm catching out of all this. How does the Sabre fly? That Sabre back there flies absolutely amazing, bro. But I'll tell you one that flies even better than that Sabre is that Intruder behind it. That Intruder flies better than that Sabre does. That's just my opinion. If it's your first 80 mil, get the Intruder. Start off with the Intruder. Um, Trust me, you won't regret it. The thing's absolutely amazing. Um, I love the Saber too. I absolutely love the Saber. Um, However, it's not going to be a great first 80 millimeter jet. I think you'd be better off with like an L39 or an Avani or that intruder back there. If you want like a military style 80 millimeter, if you don't want sport jets and you want an 80 millimeter and you want it to be a military jet, go with the intruder. I promise you, you won't go wrong, man. That intruder is pretty darn good. And you have the 70 mil 6S F-16. That's also a good one to go with as well, you guys. It's not an 80 mil, it's a 70 mil, but it's a 6S 70 mil, and it flies just as fast and just as quick as any of these 80 mils will. So it's L39, man. Hell yeah, dude. The L39 is a badass plane, bro. It's a bad mamma jamma. I'll tell you a plane that I don't praise enough. Well, actually I do. I do. You just have to catch it. Um, that's the Freewing 262. That Freewing 262 is a bad mamma jamma. That's just one of the most stable at speed. You don't want to get it too slow unless you have the flaps out. But just one of the greatest planes I've ever flown right there. That Freewing 262 is just a badass plane. That's another one that I would recommend. Before you start jumping into these 80 millimeter jets, get yourself a Freewing 262. Put a small gyro in it and then fly it until you get used to it, and then turn the gyro down and keep turning it down until you don't need the gyro anymore, and then just take the gyro completely out. That's how I usually do my planes. I turn the gyros down until they're just not even on anymore. Um, yeah, so we get the 64 millimeter 4S Focke-Wulf 60 or 4S Freewing one. What Lee get the 64 millimeter 4S Freewing one? What's he talking about? Which one? Which one? Oh, dude, that intruder is insane. I mean, even the real intruder is awesome, but this as a model, this thing is sick, you guys. This thing flies so freaking good. I was blown away at how well that intruder flies. It is by far probably one of the easiest 80 mils out of the entire bunch that you can buy and fly. And it has a super sick sound to it. It's got a sound that you wouldn't believe. It's got such a short intake mass. Like on the free on say like the Saber here, when you where you got the Saber here, its intake is like, this long. With the intruder, it's all compact into this. So it's like it's in and out before you know it, and it makes this really, really cool sound. So, my opinion, if you're gonna buy an 80 millimeter jet, start out with the intruder or the Avani or the L39. If it's a military jet that you're seeking, then by all means, the intruder is by far probably it's a safe bet. It's a safe one. It's got really big flaps. It teaches you how to use the flaps really well on them. It's got the only thing that I don't really like about it is the full flying stab. But once you get it tamed down and you put some expo in it and you dial down your throws on it, that thing is a baby doll. Super 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 nice plane. Um, Yeah, dude. I want to say that my dad actually worked on those intruders. I could be wrong. I could be getting that mixed up with the S3. I'm not sure. Um, I could have swore that he worked on the intruders at one point in time, but something keeps telling me it was the S3s. I think it was the S3s that he worked on. But I'm pretty sure that he did work on those in some aspect, in some in some way in his Navy career. I'm sure that an intruder passed through his line a few times. Fred Barron, what's up, man? S3 was a good bird too. Yeah, it was, man. It was ugly as hell, but it was a really nice plane, man. He really liked that S3 a lot. He talked that thing up. I know that he definitely worked on the S3s, but I could have swore he worked on these intruders as well. I could be wrong about that though. He did so much in his career, man. It's kind of hard to like remember every single thing that he did. Uh, one of my favorite planes that he worked on wasn't a fighter plane at all. It was actually it's called an E2. And if you guys know what an E2 is, it's actually like a big ass, like, I don't know. It almost looks like a Hurricane Hunter, but it's got a big satellite on the top that turns. It's an E2. It's called an E2. And he worked on those things for many, many years. Deuce as well. Stormy weekend. I may not get to Maiden my F-16. That's all right, bro. Hey, like I said, take your time when you're comfortable. But just know, Deuce, that thing flies amazing. Dude, you can't. I mean, it literally like will take off by itself. Like legit. If you just give it a little up trim, punch it, and she will just kind of just rotate off by herself, man. Battery back. You want the battery aft in that plane. It wants to be like back. Where like the back of the battery is, it actually wants to go under, like back into here, with like maybe like that much of the battery sticking out the front, and that's like on a 37 or 3800 or 3700. On the 3400, you can actually have it like pretty much like all the way out almost. It's crazy the difference in weight. Like one battery you can have all the way out, one battery you want to have aft. The heavier battery you put like a little further back. What do we got going on? Go fly your pits. I'll be flying the pits pretty soon, guys. Actually, it's not a pit. It's a beast. Beast biplane. Beast biplane. Oh, okay. I see. Okay, I got you. Arctic camo, high performance. That's a high performance one too. That's a 6S version too. But I bought that one before. I bought that one when it first came out. When that plane first came out, I bought that thing just like that. Like as soon as it came out. As you can see, we have one on the wall over here. It's the version 1. Tyler's version 1 up there on the wall. That thing flew so amazing on 4S. I was like, oh my God, man, I can't imagine what it's going to fly like on 6S. So I had to have it. I had to buy it. I was like, Tyler, we're going to buy that one. We're going to fly the piss out of it. And sure enough, we bought it. We flew the crap out of that thing. I probably got, about 15 to 20 flights on that one. We've got close to 100 on that one. There's a lot of planes in here that I got to fly, man. I already done maidens on them. Like the Super Scorpion, I've got one flight on that. We did one flight on that. I got one maiden flight done on that. And it deserves to have another flight done on it. So I think, we're going to be pulling these planes out here and there. We're going to fly the 262 again before the snow flies. Obviously, we're going to be flying the Raptor again. I told you I wasn't done with that plane yet. I'm not. The F-15, I like the F-15. It was a nice flying plane and all, but I'd rather get the F-14 out or the Raptor out or the 262 out again. I even have my big P-47 over here that I need to fly, you guys. It's just sitting there looking all pretty, and it needs to be flown again too. But we're working at it, guys. We're working at it little by little. We're getting these planes out of here and we're getting them flown. But for right now, my focus is entirely on the MiG-17 and the Hangar 9 P-51 giant scale gasser that I have. So, yeah, you guys stay tuned for the follow-up videos on there. You'll know when I have it. I'll put update, like say I'll Hangar 9 P-51 update, giant scale update. Every time I put update, it's just showing you the next step and what I've done to get it worthy of flying. Also with the Avios MiG-17, I'll Avios MiG-17, 8S update, I'll keep you guys updated on that. As far as the MiG-17 goes, as far as the MiG-17 goes, all the servos are put in. The ESC is put in. All we're doing is waiting on the motor and the fan, you guys. And then we can go right out and fly it. I got my 8S pack right here. Two 4S 5000, Admiral 5000s, you guys. It's the same batteries that I fly in my 8S Stinger 90 with the JP fan, the 8S system and the JP fan. In the Stinger 90, it's the same exact setup that I'm using in that I'll have inside of the MiG-17. I'm just running a slightly more efficient motor and a plastic fan instead of a all metal JP fan. Mine is not E-Flight F-16. No, fly that cool Tempest beside you. Oh, the Tempest over here. That Tempest is. I've flown that thing. I've got a bunch of videos out on that Tempest. I actually put makeshift skis on that thing one winter, and I flew it in the winter. I took off with the ailerons backwards, and while it was still flying, I actually went in the radio, reversed the ailerons, and kept flying it. It was pretty cool. That plane actually belongs to one of my kids that I coach. His name's Connor Vale. I actually put that plane back together for him. I got a brand new spinner and a brand new prop for him. I actually bought that plane for him, or put the plane back together for him. It's got all the surfaces are hinged instead of the foam hinge. It actually has like real hinges in the ailerons and the rudder and the elevator. I hinged it all off with real hinges. It's a completely different plane than the one that you get out of the box from Dynam. It's got the version 2 upgraded retracts in it. Yeah, that's a solid plane right there. That thing flies good. That thing flies really, really good, guys. That's a really nice flying plane. If you're looking for a prop plane to just go out and smash around in the air and get and have some fun with it, that's a really good one to get right there. It's cheap and it's a lot of fun to fly around. But yeah, guys, that's it from me. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to finish that Hangar 9 P-51 before I fall asleep. I got to put the two halves back together now. So I'm going to go out there. I'm going to put those two halves back together, get the stuff plugged back up, get everything reattached to the walls, like my receivers and stuff like that. I got to re-Velcro them up, my switches, and get my switches put back. Because pulling it apart, I had to pull all that stuff off. I had to detach it from the walls and pull it closer to the hole where it had to come through. But yeah, guys, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed the show tonight. We're at an hour and 16 minutes. I really, the whole point of tonight for Toe the Line was mostly just going over that Hangar 9 P-51 because that plane does mean a lot to me. I have a lot of my time, my sweat, my blood, my eyeball juice into that freaking plane, man. Like I said, I took a piece of metal in the eye for that plane, you know. It means a lot to me, and it'll mean a lot to me to see that thing up in the air flying around like it's supposed to be. I've got a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of money into that thing. And every time I come in here and see it leaning up against the wall, I'm just like, what a sad story. What a sad story. All that work, all that time, and no fuel going to the motor. You know, and then I bought this fuel tank for it, and I'm like, you know, this will solve the problem. But then I kept thinking to myself, well, what if it doesn't solve the problem? You know, and that's what's been keeping me from actually taking the plane out, taking it apart, and putting the new fuel tank in it. Is that what if it doesn't work? But today I was looking at it and I was like, you know what? Enough of that bullshit. We're pulling that plane out. We're putting that new fuel tank in it, and we're gonna get this bad boy fired up, and we're gonna get it flying because that's what it deserves to be doing, is flying, not sitting in here collecting dust. That is an absolutely beautiful plane. It's worthy of being in anybody's hangar out there in the RC community. And I can't wait to get the thing up and running so that I can go out and show off my gasser. You know, every time I go to the flying field, I see, you know, oh God, he's got a big giant scale beast biplane, you know, gasser. Oh, and he's got a big giant scale P-47 over here. Well, if I get that P-51 put together and I bring it to the field, I will have the biggest, the most expensive P-51 at the flying field, you guys. So that'll be something to be able to rep off and just be like, you know, I got the biggest, nastiest, nicest P-51 at the flying field, you guys. So that'll be something to, you know, to brag about a little bit. So it deserves it, and that's what I'm doing now, guys. I'm putting all my time and effort while I'm waiting for the 8S setup, the rest of the 8S setup for the MiG-17. I'm just putting all my time into that Hangar 9 P-51 right now. I appreciate everybody coming tonight and hanging out with me. GB Linden, good to see you in here, bro. And the Mexican the night before. That's cool shit. Jeff's Custom, what's up, buddy? Just getting ready to wrap things up. Look, guys, I'll keep you guys posted on the P51 out there. I'm working on it like tirelessly until it's done. I'm gonna go put, like I said, put the two halves back together. We'll make a follow-up video. I'll put that out before the end of the night's up. But other than that, guys, I appreciate you guys' time. Don't forget to join us in the Pilots Lounge tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern time, with your host, Pilot Ryan, from the Pilot Ryan Captain Mike RC YouTube channel. And then join us with Wesley Boozer on Sundays, 8 p.m. on the Mary Boozer's channel. Be there, be square, guys. I'm Dave. This is Dave's RC, guys. Episode 19 of Toe the Line. I appreciate you guys coming and hanging out with me. We'll see you guys next week. See most of you guys tomorrow in the Pilots Lounge. I'm out of here, guys. Peace.